back to the Sandcast. I am back from overseas and breaking my hand. And we're back in the studio today. Sandcast brought to you by Wilson, of course, and our co-host, Mr. Travis Money Mawerder.
It's good to have you back in town.
Yes,
Broken
sir.
hand and all.
Yeah, oh, thank you. And we have some players here who have been doing some work. Only, 2 events into your professional career, and you already took a third?
Yeah,
Dang.
pretty exciting.
I think I missed a lot while I was gone. I was looking at the brackets from overseas, and I'm like, who are these people? I don't know any of these players.
Yeah.
And they're, like, making semis and all that, but I suppose that's that's what's happening with the whole college scene, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's bringing in players who are pro-ready, whereas before everyone had to kind of learn and gain their experience on tour. Now everyone's coming in with experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, like at UCLA, like it's a pro environment. Like Sarah Svantel was there, so we got to train against her every day and the
Right.
twins. So, I mean, we like the top 3 were on our own court, so we're like literally playing with like other girls that are also playing
Right.
pro. So it's just like such good training for once
Yeah.
you get out of there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got to give you a lot of confidence knowing,
Yeah.
like, okay, I know how I match up against these girls, and then I see what they're doing on the international stage.
Yeah.
So just automatically know that you can hang.
And you guys have, like, more resources than the professionals have resources for the most part. Because when we had the twins on the podcast, and they were saying, like, we have, like, lifting, and you get coaching from Stein.
Yeah.
And you get coaching from Todd Rogers, like,
Yeah.
2 of the most brilliant minds in
Right.
the game. Then you get out in the pro scene, it's like... So we just call people to set up random practices and kind of wing it.
Yeah, by the way, it never gets better than college. Just get used to that right now, especially if you went to the UCLA, USC,
Yeah.
UW.
Yeah.
So it somewhat goes downhill from here. But now you get paid.
Yeah, that's nice.
You get paid, and that's actually better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not a bad first paycheck on the Pro Tour. Congratulations,
Thank
by the
you.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
For
were
the
like
third.
freaking out. My mom told us, and we were like, wait, like 1,000?
Like 400.
Yeah, no, that's actually how it was. After every game, we'd like check and be like,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, how much did coming out of college give you the confidence to walk into an AVP qualifier? Because I feel like, it's crazy that you were on court 3 and you were in the AVP semifinals and giving Betsi and Emily a really good run too. And you were on court 1 at Poly. I don't know where you were at Washington.
Yeah.
Okay. But how much did that prepare you for the professional ranks? Because you were playing pretty much professional teams while you were there.
Yeah, I think for me, it was playing for Todd was huge. I learned so much from him in such a short amount of time, and I think he really was honest with me and prepared me for what was coming next. So I think just kind of having that experience was really helpful going into it. But at the same time, we both were really unsure of what we were capable of doing because we went to Seattle and we didn't qualify. We had a really tough time. We both cried on the way to the airport. It was really tough. So then coming into, Hermosa, we were kind of just like, okay, this is our opportunity to attack it, and we're going to go through a qualifier again, and kind of just staying present with every match that we played. But it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we knew the odds were kind of against us, and so we knew that there's a lot of obstacles to be faced. We were pretty realistic about it, and I think that we knew when we got the opportunity, we were confident that we could play and hang with the best of them. But I think we just needed the opportunity, and so I think we always talked about once we get that opportunity, we thought it would be Manhattan because we have a main draw bid for Manhattan because we won an AVP next.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we
Which
thought
one did you win?
we won Denver.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so we were that will be our opportunity we will be more fresh and stuff. And so we were just trying to get as prepared as possible for that. So I think it came a little sooner than we expected.
Yeah.
But we know I don't know, we're just super realistic with the situation, and we know it's hard, and neither of us have ever played in any beach tournaments since high school, so we have no points. We
Yeah,
have no experience. It's just a different environment than playing in college, especially from indoor volleyball.
Yeah. I feel like people get motivated by different things. Do you guys like having that, you were the 47 seed, not, if anybody was just looking at the bracket, probably would have expected Lara and Kim to come out. Do you guys like kind of having that, okay, well, we have a lot of work to do, or would you rather be the favorites coming in?
I think, me personally, I kind of liked being the underdog. I think it relieved a lot of pressure for me. It wasn't we have to go in and we have to win and beat all these teams. It was kind of okay, how many teams can we knock off? How well can we do? We're not supposed to win any of these games, so let's just go out and give it our best shot. I think we also kind of had the advantage of people not knowing much about us, tendency-wise and things like that. So it was kind of cool, I thought. I mean, it was tough to play 11 games, but it had its perks.
You don't say.
Yeah.
11?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it was playing Betsi and Emily, it was their 4th and our 11th.
Damn.
So we were just like, let's just not embarrass ourselves, please. Like, just do our best, but like, just don't embarrass ourselves. That's the goal
Our
here.
warm-up before we played them was
We were
pretty
so
sad.
tired.
Yeah.
One serve, hit one ball.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, it's like you were there. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking in the qualifier and we were like, we just have to get through the qualifier, and then once we're out of the qualifier, like we can breathe, and it's like it's just so free.
Yeah.
But we just had to get through. Like in the qualifier, I don't think that I loved being the 48 seed. But then like once you're in the main draw, it's like, okay, now we have nothing to lose. Like we can play a lot more free, and I think that we really took advantage of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always love talking to qualifier teams who come out, because we had Andy Benesh and Adam Roberts who took a 7th out of the qualifier, and they were like, yeah, qualifiers are like so nerve-wracking, and you get in the main draw and it's like, oh, this is easy. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Totally.
the pressure is way off, which I think for me too, it's like same thing. You get to main draw, it's like, oh, now you just get to like play, and the pressure's off. 'Cause it's not single limb, it's not crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
And we were talking beforehand that you guys almost dropped out of the qualifier,
Yeah.
which, so I guess kind of explain for the listeners like what was going on there.
So like the forfeit situation. Yeah. So it was actually into the main draw. So I got hurt in our qualifying game against
Our play-in against Lara and Kim.
Kim. Yeah. So I had a really bad cramp and then landed on my knee kind of funky. So it was a little weird, but we got into Friday came along, and I was kind of like, I called her crying on the way to the beach, and I was like, look, dude, like, I'm so sorry. We worked super hard, but like, I don't think I can play. My knee was hurting really badly. My calf
I was like,
was still
it's
cramping.
okay, like, you gotta take care of yourself. And I just like, sobbing.
Yeah, I can hear it in her voice, and she's pretty bummed. So we like told the AVP people like, hey, we think we might have to forfeit, and we were supposed to play on stadium court. So he's like, well, we're gonna move your game to court like 5 or something, just in case you do have to forfeit. So I kind of just warmed up a little bit, and I was like, I mean, I'll try it. Like, I want to do this, and we worked so hard to get here. So if I have to kind of just be on a peg leg for a little bit, at least we can say we tried. But it ended up working out, so it was
I would
good.
say so.
Yeah.
So, like, how was it playing through it? Like, did the pain eventually go away, or like did the adrenaline kind of take over a little bit?
It was pretty painful, especially just going through Friday. I think we kind of got lucky. So we lost our first one, which means we only had to play one more. So it was we were fortunate that we only had to play 2 games.
It was better to lose the first. Because
Oh,
then
that's-
like you go back
yeah.
down to the same round as if you would have
And you
lost.
have a really long rest instead of getting right back up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super helpful. But there were so many balls that like normally I'd be able to get to, or like balls that I would, I can normally block that ball, but I just couldn't jump as high, couldn't really pivot the way I wanted to. So it was kind of a disadvantage there. But it was nice to kind of, like you said, just have that rest and get some time to recoup for Saturday.
Yeah. What'd you guys do in between? Because you had like 7 hours. I don't even know.
So did you go home that day on Friday maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah, she went home.
It's all a blur.
Yeah, I stayed at the beach, but it was funny. So for our second match, we were completely unprepared. We were watching the wrong court.
Yeah.
So
we thought we were on a different court.
yeah, so we're just laying down, like having a good time, and all of a sudden we just hear like Muno and Jones, and we're like, I mean, that's us, but like we still got time. The ref's like, you guys are playing right now, and we were like,
So we literally were just like laying on the sand and then like had 2 minutes to warm up.
Yeah.
So like we both like hit a ball and then we played our second
Perfect.
game.
Yep.
Yeah, it was great.
yep. So we did nothing all the way
Yeah.
until the last minute. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
On the
Worked out.
on the second day, one of my friends has a Normatec, so like we would like run to like we'd have like an hour and a half and we'd like run to my parents' house in like Normatec and then like run back there.
Yeah.
Because we were so tired. We were like, we'll do anything to feel better.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you guys? So we have a Cal Poly and UCLA partnership, and I think that's one of the more fun parts of the qualifiers for me is like watching all like the schools partner together, because I think you guys played EA Lindahl and Morgan Martin right in your second match on Friday, which is another like mishmash. So how did the partnership end up getting formed?
Well, we both did USA Beach in high school, and so like we did like the whole HP thing, and then they partnered us up together. So we played in U19 World Championships in Portugal together, and then I asked her to play this past spring. I watched her play, and I was like, wow, she got so much better at setting. And then I was like, I definitely want to play with her. So then I texted her, and I just texted her. I was like, hey, like, I don't know what your plans are, but like, if you are going to play, like, would you want to just like try and see how it works in a couple of tournaments? And then, yeah, we couldn't get into either Austin or New York
Which
because
sucks.
we have
Cap
0
qualifiers
points, so
suck.
we couldn't even get into the qualifier.
Yeah.
We like didn't know that existed, so we bought tickets. We like had our hotel and like lost everything, and we were like, "This is so horrible." We drive all so hard.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we definitely like went from all the way from the bottom, but yeah. So that's kind of how it happened. I just asked her, and then
Okay. Awesome. Seems like it's going pretty well so far.
Yeah.
So was Colorado your first tournament then? Or was that after?
Yeah, we had played in a couple CBVAs.
Okay.
And then we went to Colorado and then Washington. And
Okay.
then those are the only, and then Hermosa.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how has it been kind of, I know that one of the things that college athletes struggle a little bit is the lack of structure after college. So how have you guys gone about making that transition? Seems like it's gone pretty well so far.
Yeah, so I think P1440 definitely kind of provided that structure for us. We were kind of unsure going into it what it would be like, but we both were kind of like, you know, we want some sort of practice schedule, some sort of, you know, lifting schedule, and so that's been really nice and helpful. So we have practice times, and then it's also been cool to kind of just schedule, you know, random, hey, let's play with other pro players. It's been really cool for us, and we're learning a lot. So we definitely have some structure, and that's been helpful.
Yeah. I think that's like a big reason why we chose 1440. Like I know I really like structure, so I was like, at the very least, like we have like some practices planned, and then we can, and then I like go to a trainer. Like I just like had to create my own structure because otherwise I'd go kind of crazy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you grew up in Hermosa, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Hermosa, and then my parents moved to Manhattan when I was in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow,
So how was it? Stadium court,
Oh, yeah.
semifinal Sunday
It was,
in
like,
your
the coolest
hometown?
thing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, because I didn't even, like, going into my senior year of indoor, like, I was expecting to play indoor overseas. And then I just didn't have, like, the greatest year, and I was, like just kind of over indoor volleyball. And so last Hermosa AVP, I was there watching, like, on Sunday. I just had no idea that I would ever be there. And so I just, like, called my mom that morning. I was like, I'm like going to play today. This is so cool. And then I just like have been like at like Vaughn's yesterday. I saw a family friend, and they were like, we saw you playing. Like it was like a dad of a girl I played middle school soccer with, and just like because it's here, so everybody could go watch. And I don't know, it was really really special for me because I grew up watching that. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
it was really cool.
And now
Was
you get
there-
to follow it up with Manhattan.
Yeah. And you're straight in. It might be a little bit easier without full
Yeah.
matches on your
Yeah.
leg, no cramping the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Helpful.
Zana doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Less tears. Yeah.
That's great. So automatic main draw in just your third event. And it's a gold
Yeah.
series. You guys have a huge points opportunity too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would be great.
Yeah, that's what we are really shooting for.
Yeah.
The points thing.
So
Yeah.
at least, at the very least, you'll get into qualifiers now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Which is
blessed.
huge. Yeah. Yeah.
Was there like any sense of like starstruckness in main draw at all? Because I know that I don't know if it was different because like you had been coached by Stein, you'd been coached by Todd, who were like two Hall of Fame beach volleyball players. Like that's a gold medalist, and Stein went to the Olympics too. So I didn't know if like that had eased up any of the starstruckness.
No. We were so excited.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
played on stadium court with no people, and we were so excited. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, I think just the experience in general, because it was so unexpected and because of all the adversity we faced before, we really weren't expecting anything. So we were so grateful for everything that like happened, and like seeing all these people who have been playing for so long and kicking butt on tour is super fun for us to kind of just give them our
Yeah.
best shot and just push really hard. Yeah.
I'm interested to hear who are kind of some of the players that you guys have at least been watching.
You
Or
want to go first?
Well, I don't know if I can speak for myself, but we both like weren't ever that involved in the beach community, so I
Right.
really never knew that many people. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like with P1440, Kerri Walsh had asked us to practice with her a couple times, and we were literally like, excuse my language, like shitting our pants. Like we were like, oh my god.
You're not the first people to say that on this show.
Yeah, so I think that was like the first one, and we just were like, ever since then, like anybody we see, it's like, like we just watched them growing up, so it's just like, I don't know. I think we're both pretty like humbled,
Right.
to say the least. Like I think anybody at this point,
anyone.
we're just
Yeah.
like, oh my god, like that's that person. Like,
Yeah.
we're just There's nobody really specific. I think it's just the entire like. Just the fact that we're in the AVP, like we played in a
Right.
main draw, like all of it is just really like mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, like the more you play, you start to see certain skills that players do, and you're like, oh, I want to steal that from them.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
I play that style of game, so I can steal this from them. You kind of create your own style of play, I guess, based on
Yeah.
that. But yeah,
That's one cool thing that's different from like playing in college. It's like you have so much more variety. Like I'm playing against so many different people that I haven't been playing against for 4 years.
Yeah.
And so I can like pick up on other things and learn so much, and like especially because they've been playing at the highest level, and so there's just so many nuances that like you can see so quickly, and you're like, wow, if I just do that, like my game will just get so much better.
Totally. I'm still learning that, like, well, obviously, but like every tournament I'm like playing, and you know, we get a great finish, and then I go back the next week and I'm like, God, there's so much to learn and work on. Like my finish says that I'm pretty damn good at this, but the way I'm playing and the way, at least the way my coach is talking to me, Jose Lara, another one of those Hall of Famers, I'm like, damn, I got so much to learn. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, when I came out in the beginning, I was looking at like Todd Rogers, and I'm like, oh my God, the professor. I get to play against him.
Yeah.
But luckily I got him while he was old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he wasn't with Phil anymore, so that helped.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
What are some of your bigger takeaways just from the weekend? I don't know if you've like even had time to just like sit down and reflect and like absorb like what happened and maybe pick up a few lessons along the way.
I think for me, kind of just this was a validating moment for us, and at the same time, you know, with this sport, it's so hard because you can do well. You know, we took a third in Hermosa, and then you can turn around and not even qualify for another tournament. So I think one thing for me was just A, super grateful, just a ton of gratitude for the experience, but B, just kind of confirmed that, you know, we are good at this, you know, and we can do well and get better, and that, you know, like you said, there's a lot to learn, but that, you know, we are in the right spot, and we choosing to play this was a good decision, because kind of like she mentioned earlier, my first thought was to play overseas indoor. And, you know, with that, you get, you know, a salary, and it's much more like, you know, you're guaranteed a lot more things. And so I think this was definitely a risk for both of us. But, you know, having that validating moment, especially after all the adversity, was huge. So I think just, learning that, you know, we could do this, and then also just being super grateful.
Yeah. Well, I feel like after this year at Poly, you're pretty used to adversity.
Oh, yeah.
You guys, like, half your team was injured.
Seriously. Yeah, it was a whirlwind of a season for sure. But, came out doing pretty well, so it was exciting.
Yeah. I mean, how wild was it? Because, like, both of you guys had historic seasons. So you guys have, like, different, like, really good seasons in different ways that you guys won national championship again, and you guys make Gulf Shores for the first time, right? And won conference for the first time.
Yeah.
So congrats to both of you on that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
How wild was it at Poly this year, though? Because, like, I think I was talking to Todd. I think he said there was one team that played on all 5 courts throughout the year because of how many injuries there were.
Yeah, ton of injuries. Our best player got injured from the beginning. We knew she probably wasn't going to be able to play, so that was kind of huge. But yeah, like you said, girls were just kind of being thrown around everywhere, and then we ended up being the best team that Cal Poly's ever had for any sport, which was super cool. And Todd did a great job of kind of just directing the ship, and I'm huge on facing adversity, because my coach at Washington, that was kind of his thing. Like, you know, what can you learn from this, and how do you keep getting better? So I think we kind of just held on tight and pushed as hard as we could, and it worked out.
Yeah.
Going to pause right there really quick for a quick word from our sponsors. Hey, they're the ones who keep the show going. We got to give them a shout out. All right, so a shout out as always to our guys at Wilson, who are giving out all the best balls on the AVP Tour, giving out the best balls on the College Tour, the CBVA. Everybody uses Wilson, and it's for a reason. And you probably do too if you're listening to the show, and you probably need new balls. So if you do, give us a shout at Wilson Sand on wilsonvolleyball.com for a 20% discount. All right, that is Wilson Sand for 20% discount for the best balls in the game. All right, so go over to Wilson, use the best balls out there. You can get them decorated by Nicolette Martin, have a great time with them, and use that code for a 20% discount. Lord knows we all need them in beach volleyball, so go ahead and give me a use. And just as we all need volleyballs, we also all need recovery devices, all right, especially for those of us who are traveling all over the place. Recovery is key, which is why Firefly Recovery is our guys for that. You can just strap these things on your knee or wherever you are injured or need some recovery, and Firefly has you covered. It simulates the blood flow down the legs or wherever you are injured, and it just heals it. You could be at work putting them on. It's going to heal you up. You could be on an airplane. Thank goodness. That's where I spend half of my time these days, and it's going to heal you up. Firefly Recovery is your spot, and you can use our code SANDCAST. Then you get 10% off of Firefly Recovery. So you got 20% at Wilson. You got 10% at Firefly. You are set up. Now for our final but not least sponsor, we have Pacific Coast Wealth Management. All right, they are some of the guys who are responsible for putting on such an excellent event at the Laguna Open, so it's always good to give them support. And if you need any type of financial support, they have your back. So you can get up a free consultation at Pacific Coast Wealth Management. All right, and we're going to give you the Pacific Coast Wealth Management Olympic breakdown. All right, so unfortunately, Russia is number one for the guys. We got Vyacheslav Krasilnikov and Oleg Stoyanovsky ranked number one in the Olympic race. Number two, the Norwegian buddies, the beach volley Vikings, Anders Mole and Christian Sorum. Number three, we have the Polish Todd Rogers, Gregors Fijalek, and Michael Brill. Esteban and Marco Grimalt are right behind them. The number one American team in the current Olympic race is Tri Bourne and Trevor Crabb, our only split blocking duo in the country. On the women's side, this is a much more American-filled affair. We have Rebecca Cavalcanti and Ana Patricia Silva as number one in the world. They're from Brazil. Number two at the moment, Kerri Walsh-Jennings and Brooke Sweat. Number three, April Ross and Alex Kleinman. Number four, Canadians, Heather Bansley and Brandy Wilkerson. Number five, another Canadian pair. They're our buddies up north. Let's give them some love. Melissa Humana Paredes and Sarah Pavin. Checking into the U.S. also in the top 10, Sarah Hughes and Summer Ross, and Kelly Clays and Sarah Sponsel. A lot to change, obviously, in the coming months as some of the bigger events come up. But that is your Pacific Coast Wealth Management Olympic update. And now we will get back to Sandcast. As always, appreciate you guys listening to the show so much. Love all you guys. Love beach volleyball. Appreciate all the support.
How did you end up at Washington to start? Because you grew up, went to Los Alamitos,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. And then, so what made you want to go to Washington?
So I played at T Street Volleyball Club, and Bailey Tanner, Troy Tanner's daughter, was going there, and she was saying, this is such a great school. And so I checked it out, hated it at first. It was pouring rain, and I was like, why would I ever do this? It sounds
Raining in
terrible.
Washington?
Yeah.
No way.
Who would have thought? And so I was like, okay, I checked it out again, and Jim McLaughlin was the head coach at the time, and he's a volleyball legend. And so I was like, yeah, if I want to get the best training. I don't want to stay in the Pac-12. I want to stay, remotely close to home. So it kind of just worked out, and they really did a good job of making me feel like a person and not just like, another top recruit. They were really interested in my family and who I was and what my core values were. And so I think that kind of just was like, okay, like this sounds like something that I'd love to be a part of. So I just jumped in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you played 3 years beach? Or
Yeah.
You did beach and indoor?
I did.
At Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you transferred to Poly for your senior season? Or for grad?
Yeah, so it was fifth year. So I started my grad school program. Yeah,
okay.
Poly. Mm-hmm.
Got it. What made you end up at Poly?
Todd. Yeah, I was like, well, if I'm going to try to push this beach thing, why not play for Todd? So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, good. Well, did you guys like playing both indoor and beach? It seems like a lot on the mind and the body.
I think for her it might be different because for us at Washington, beach was kind of like our season was like maybe 4 weeks. So for us, it was just like a break from indoor. And so it was a ton of fun. We kind of just were like, let's, do the best we can. We were in the Pac-12. So we were playing against USC, UCLA. So we knew that those were going to be 2 L's. So we were like, let's just do the best we can. So it was really fun and kind of more of a break. So it wasn't super strenuous in terms of like, this is so hard. We're grinding, every day. It's really tough. It was kind of just like, this is really fun. But at Poly, it was definitely really hard to do, like coming from Washington. It was just kind of like a different vibe. Everyone was really serious and like they were good and able to like compete and do well in conference. So yeah, it was definitely different.
Yeah. And then beach and indoor are both really not that beach is not a serious program at Washington, but like that's like a big time program at UCLA, as is the indoor. So how was it doing both?
It was definitely a little bit of a different experience. Yeah, I think like a lot of girls have reached out to me and been like, I'm thinking about doing both, and like I'm like a super honest person and I like don't always recommend it. I think that it was so physically taxing, one, but like emotionally taxing too, because as soon like I remember we won the national championship in beach my junior year, and we got home at Sunday night at like 2:30 and we had practice on Monday morning for indoor. So it was just like there was no break, and I think because they're two top programs, like they want to get the most out of their athletes, and it's that constant conversation of like, well, we spend so much money for you to be here for indoor, so like we want to be getting the most out of you, but you're spending so much time there, so whenever I do have that small time, they want me. So it was just like kind of like a back and forth pulling, and then also just not feeling like I can get the best at one thing. Because, like, in off-season, that's when, like, that's your time to work and get better and make changes, like the big changes. And so I didn't feel like I could make like the huge changes I need to indoor
Yeah.
to really improve. And then beach, like I wasn't doing anything because all summer long you're at school training for indoor. So I didn't play in a single beach tournament in college. And so I just felt like I was pulled in a lot of directions. I'm so grateful that I did it because like I got so many amazing experiences. And I'm glad that I played indoor volleyball because at the time that I was like committing, beach volleyball wasn't really as big as it is right now. It was so much different, and I wanted to play at the top level that I could play at. And so there's like moments like playing in Nebraska in front of 15,000 people. Like those are moments I'll never forget, and I loved that, and like I live for those environments. So I'm super glad I did it. And then I won 2 national championships on beach, so I'm also so grateful for that. So in the end, I'm super grateful for it, but physically and emotionally, it is like beyond draining.
You better be ready.
Yeah, exactly. And I just like want to prepare people for that. Like it's possible and it can be super awesome, but it is, you just have to be aware of like what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah. That's cool that, go ahead, Trey.
Or sorry, are you guys both still thinking about indoor or going back or playing in between? Anything like that? Is it still maybe not after this last week? Got a little bread in your pocket.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. So it's funny, I think we both have like kind of joked about it a little bit. Like if beach didn't work out, then we, would consider going back. I know I definitely would, just for the experience of playing overseas and like being a professional athlete and indoor, but I definitely don't want to. But if that like ended up happening. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to have
exactly.
to. Yeah, exactly.
I had this similar experience. I mean, I went overseas just to play because, I mean, we didn't have beach, so I played indoor. Kind of just went through the pipeline, right? You play indoor and then you go overseas. But then I came back and played in the summers, and luckily I played in Puerto Rico where it was only 3-month seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still have that right now.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
It's a good option
Yeah.
if you want to sample it.
Yeah.
Because then you can play both. But it was the same for me. Once it became an opportunity to play full-time beach, I was like, see you later. And
Yeah.
I'm good. My knees are good. My shoulder's good.
Yeah.
I'll slow things down with a few shots here and there rather than just unloading every time.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think when he was asking like my biggest takeaways like from this past weekend, I would say that's like one of them. I think that it just like sometimes after all of the like obstacles that we faced, like just having a little bit of validation, just like to be like, okay, I'm not just wasting my time here. Like I like really fully invest in this and maybe like it can be fruitful in the end. And so I think that was like my biggest takeaway. Just I think if we just give it our all, then like maybe we can have success.
Yeah. And I mean, to be honest, like if you look at where the tour's at right now compared to where it was when I first came out, it was just coming out of the bankruptcy. It's doing pretty well, and they're only adding money every year. Probably going to add another event or two, I think. So in terms of the future, like, and if you keep moving up and you're one of those top teams, when the tour is thriving, that's a big difference than when you're a top team when the tour is not thriving and you're like, I'm a top 5 team and I still can't make a living.
Right.
You know, so it is good timing for you guys.
Yeah.
I think like both of us like agree that our heart's in beach. Like we wouldn't because of what we want to do.
Yeah.
It's just if it's like sustainable, really.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't have
if
to.
you keep getting third, it'll be really
Yeah. Seriously.
And then obviously, you know, if you're doing well domestically, have you guys ever thought about whether you wanted to go overseas and play on international tour?
Yeah, I think we've talked about it. Like we'd love to, but I think right now it's just like kind of finding our
One
groove.
step at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, we'd
But-
love to in that like get there for sure.
Cool. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun in the beginning, like just dipping your toes in the water, going to Norseca's and that kind of thing. That's kind of where Travis is at.
Love Norseca.
Yeah, because you're going. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
times you're going in like the Caribbean. It's like staying in like a little resort in the Caribbean, and
I've also lucked out with like a couple of the best Norseca stuff. I've been really
Really?
spoiled.
you know what you're doing. You're on the vacation tour.
Yeah.
That's what
Nice.
Todd Rogers did at the end of his career. He started going to all these Norsecas.
Yeah.
With like whoever,
Yeah.
and it was like he picked all the best. I'm like, well, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? You're over
Enjoying
the world
yourself.
tour, and
Yeah.
you're just getting paid vacations.
That's
now.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's there's a lot of potential in the beach and a lot of different directions that you can go.
Yeah.
And I think with the college game, it's just getting like bigger and bigger.
Oh,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
huge.
It's crazy how
Yeah.
much it's grown. It's
I actually
so
feel
much.
bad for the girls because you guys have like so much competition.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
being built underneath you, whereas the
Oh my
guys,
gosh.
it's like not many people are gonna come straight out of indoor and just step on the beach and be good. You know?
Yeah, which is crazy. And I think too, we talk about it all the time, how there's so many just like different clubs and like AVP first, and all
so
these things that we
crazy.
never knew or like we never had growing up, and we're young. Like it just like so much has happened so recently, and playing against Craft and Maple, and they're 16 and 17, and they're
so
unreal,
good.
They're so
like
good.
Really.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I think it's just super cool to see how much the sport's grown and like how people come from high school, college, and they're ready to go.
They're like,
cool.
what club did you play for? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't play club.
Yeah,
Didn't play
I didn't even start volleyball until high school.
Yeah,
Played on 16th Street.
yeah, seriously, yeah, it's crazy.
That's cool though. It's like I look at the women's qualifiers and I'm like, it's almost better to be like a mid seed because like you guys come in with no points and like the one seed draws one of you guys. I'm like, oh, good luck. The one seed's like
totally.
not the favorite. They're like the underdog in their first round.
Yeah, it's
I don't want any
crazy.
part of that.
Yeah, we were 47, and I think 46 got buys, so it was like kind of tough.
Otherwise, we would have only had 3.
Right.
We've had so many instances like that.
Oh,
We're just
too
like,
many.
oh, so close.
Yeah, like being 51 in the qualifier. Like to get
for
into
New York,
it,
we were
and
51, and they take 50.
Yeah.
Oh,
I played like 11 matches in the last like 5 weeks or so.
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
it is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it changes. Like, once you're in main draws,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get a better seed in the beginning, so you start skipping rounds as you stay in the winners.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this is way nicer.
Yeah.
Like didn't play, and I never played like 3 matches in a day after like my first 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Or not even. I got lucky though. I picked up a top guy right away. And he picked me up. I got lucky.
Nice.
But yeah, it does get easier. I don't think like I've never heard of anyone playing 11 matches.
My trainer my brother plays baseball and he has a trainer, and so my brother set me up with this guy, and he's like, great, but he's like, so what happened in the end? I was like, well, my legs just like wouldn't work anymore. And he was like, honestly, like I've done the best I can here. I can't really train you to play 11 matches. There's just nothing more. I can't.
Insane.
Yeah, I feel like most people like don't really understand how much different it is because like, oh well, I'll go out and play 6 matches of a KOB on the weekends. I'm like, you don't understand how different it is. It's like singing 4 songs in the shower and then singing like 4 songs at a concert.
Yeah.
Like, it's a totally different thing. Like me and Rafi, we played the AVP Next Gold in Chicago, and we played 9 matches in 2 days.
Wow.
And I was like,
2 days.
damn.
That's crazy.
lot.
We did 8 for our AVP next. In 2
You did 8?
days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are getting kind of used to it
Yeah.
now.
The endurance
not
thing
too
is,
used to it.
we've got that part down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a lot though. What do you guys do for recovery? Well, I guess, is your brother still in professional baseball?
Yeah.
Do you have a younger brother too?
Just
that
an
plays?
older brother,
Okay.
yeah.
Where's he playing?
He's in Double-A for the White Sox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Is there any competitiveness between you two?
No, not really. I think when we were younger there was, but at this point, like, we both just know, like, the trials and tribulations of, like, sports, and so we just, like, try and support each other as much as we can. Like, he's, like, the person I talk to most about, like, how hard trying to be a professional athlete can be. Yeah.
Well, minor league baseball players can probably relate best with beach volleyball players because Ryan Doherty, I don't know if you guys have met him, he used to be a minor leaguer for the Diamondbacks. And he was like, yeah, you make like a pretty minimal salary. Like, you're always on a bus. Like you're eating like the leftover hot dogs. Like, all right, beach volleyball players can relate to that.
Yeah. Totally.
You're looking at like the top 1 or 2% guys that get picked up. You're like,
Right.
oh, I want that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very relatable. Yeah, I think it's so funny. We were talking about it at the AVP, and we're like, when can we consider ourselves professional athletes?
Because, like, we do not consider ourselves professionals at all.
Absolutely not. I was like, can I put this on Instagram? Like, in a pro tournament? Like, is this validated? I have no idea.
We were like,
Everybody else does.
Yeah.
There is a funny, like.
We were like,
thing that goes around.
when is it allowed? We were like, well, once we make a Sunday, like, we'll consider ourselves professionals.
Yeah.
And then we did, and we're like, so are we professionals?
Yeah.
Was it funny playing like people that coached against you? Because you guys played against Delaney and she coached against you, both of you, when she was at Pepperdine, and then you played against Betsi and she was coaching against you at LMU. It's a funny dynamic.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah. I think just like they probably know our scouting report probably a little bit pretty well.
We know nothing about them. But it's also just like start like, oh God, great, like we have to play them. Like, we have like so much respect for everybody. We're like, oh great, like we have to play them. And it's like, seems like every game we're playing, we're like, no, not them. But I feel like there's no good option sometimes.
Right. Yeah. That is, I mean, I think that's a good way to go about it sometimes. Like, when I go and play teams that are like way lower seeds and you like think you have a good draw.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, this is professional. Like there's no good draws.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you need to really be in that mindset.
Yeah. That's so
I
true.
mean, I'd rather be like worried about a team and like be fully focused than
Yeah.
like, you know, relaxing.
Right. And that's us always for sure. I think we're always like, okay, like everybody's good. Like we have to give it our best.
You're like,
And
they're good. I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Played 10 matches.
yeah.
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 Yeah. Our flaw is like
Let's see
being
what
too
happens.
realistic, and we like both have that mindset, and so like we're always just like think everybody else is so much better.
I think that's a good mindset to have, though,
Yeah.
because like I see so many people like, oh, this team, like, it's a walkover. I'm like, there's literally no such thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Like, like, especially in like a qualifier, like, oh, you have a great draw. I'm like, there's literally no good draws in any qualifier
No.
ever.
Definitely not.
In
Yeah.
a single limb, literally
Yeah.
anything can happen.
Totally.
It's like we saw in Hermosa, it was like the only 2 seeds held for the guys, and then I think maybe 2 for the women's. Like it's
Yeah.
like there were more upsets than favorites making it through qualifiers
I
this
know.
year
Yeah.
by a lot.
Crazy.
Yeah,
And just like how they the finishes, like there was 3 qualifiers.
Yeah.
And, like
which was crazy.
on Sunday,
Yeah.
so nuts.
Yeah, and like people, they were beating good teams to get there too, which
Totally.
is even wilder. But it was fun to watch. That's why I like tournaments where like a lot of the big dogs are gone, because then like main draws just go nuts, because like
I don't
all the
like 'em.
favorites aren't just like walking over people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been a lot of upsets even when the top teams are there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah, because
It's-
Jake and Taylor, they kept losing early.
Yeah,
and
they
making their
lose
way through the
early,
contenders.
Troy and
Troy and Timmy.
Blomgren made a final in New York.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's been a lot. It sucks though to miss them, you know, and
Yeah.
to see like a new team win. You're like, damn it.
shoot.
They get to be in the winner's circle
Yeah.
when you didn't get a shot at it.
Yeah,
But that's the dynamic of beach volleyball. It's crazy how many different paths there are to take. You know, like if you prioritize Olympics or World Tour, or maybe you want to get on the World Tour, so you're prioritizing those tournaments over AVPs. Your career kind of takes a whole different path, and on the domestic tour, your ranking might be lower, but then you're reaching your goal on the World Tour, or you try to balance the two and like maybe burn yourself out or.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how many. It's really hard to follow our sport, I think, as a fan, because you're like, I thought that guy was good. Why does he rank like
11th on the AVP and
Yeah.
2nd in the world.
Right? Yeah, that's second on the world tour.
Yeah.
What's the deal?
Yeah,
But it is interesting how you can kind of go on all those
Yeah.
different journeys.
It's also crazy.
Snow volley, maybe.
How like
Yeah. Seriously.
love me some snow.
You
Yeah.
can.
It's
it's
pretty
so
cool.
wild.
Yeah.
It's also crazy like how like your route can be different too, like based on your partner. Like Sarah Swansel's never played in like an AVP qualifier. Like
Right.
she just got picked up by Lauren, and
Yeah.
which is
Right.
amazing, and like she deserves that. But it was just like crazy how she just has never and will never have to, just because like she found that route. And then like because we chose to play together, neither of us had literally any points,
Totally.
and so we had like such a different route. But just like. And we're like, so do we split up? Because like we couldn't even like get points to try and get into a qualifier.
Right.
So we're like, do we like split up and try and play with somebody else just to
Yeah.
get in? But we stuck it out.
Yeah, we
made
did.
it. But yeah, it's just
Oh,
like crazy.
yeah.
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 You guys play in so many different high stakes environments. Like you have like the conference championships, you have the national championships, you had Nebraska in front of 15,000 people. Now you have a stadium court with I don't know how many the AVP fits, maybe like 5,000 to 7,000 somewhere in there. Like what is and just like a qualifier final round with no one watching. Like what's the biggest nerve-wracking environment, or the one that you thrive in the most?
Good question. For me personally, I really liked playing on stadium court in front of everyone. I
Yeah.
think initially I was super nervous. I was like, if I like serve under the net or anything, I'm just gonna go home. Like I'm not gonna be able to do this ever again. But then kind of using that energy that they provided and converting that into just excitement. Like this is so cool. Like I can bounce a ball and then everyone's cheering for me. This is
Yeah.
really cool. And there was a moment when the announcer guy was like, okay, raise your hand or like clap if you're cheering for Crafted Maple. And I was like, no one's going to cheer for us. It's going to be so embarrassing. But then we had a lot of people cheer for us. And so that was really exciting. But I think that was a really cool moment, and kind of one I'd say I thrive in was just like, it made me push a little bit harder and like, this is so cool. And like, I'm so grateful for this. And so I think playing in front of the crowd would be probably my favorite.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't really get nervous that much, but I think when I do get nervous, it's in the qualifier, because it's just like
Yeah.
such high stakes. It's like if we lose this and like we're just done, and then like there's nothing we can do about it, and we could just have a really good team in the first round, and it just like I feel like it's kind of an unfair opportunity, even though it is what it is. But like I have that mindset, like this isn't fair. Like we should get more chances or something like that. So that's probably when I get nervous, and then I don't know. I think I definitely like thrive in that big environment too. I think it's just so fun, like using other people's energy and
it's awesome.
Yeah.
And how was a stadium in Vienna against Austria? That was
right.
You got Vienna,
so cool.
Austrians on stadium, and then world champs. You got the Germans on stadium.
Wow. And we had Norway and Russia all on stadium.
Nice.
13,000
Wow.
in like a
so
closed
cool.
arena. It was pretty sick.
That's cool.
What's been the best World Tour environment you've been on this year? Because I mean, you've been at all the best ones.
I mean, Hamburg was the best world champ. It was like legit full city block where the line is going around the block.
It's so cool.
That's so
it's our
cool.
match. Like,
Dude, well, that's
Oh my
that's
God,
how I was
that's
in,
so
in
cool.
Hermosa. So they had
Yeah.
I don't know if were you in Hermosa last year, or were you gone?
No,
you
I
were
was
here.
there. I was
Yeah, you couldn't play.
Sitting.
So you're watching me wear your board shorts.
Right, yeah, exactly.
I wore Try's board shorts in the qualifier last year.
nice.
His name
I thought we were brothers.
But they had like a spill out area for stadium and like kind of like a TV, and like the
That's
pier
a
was
great
packed
idea.
to watch the stadium on Sunday. It was awesome.
So they had that in Hamburg as well. They had a giant stadium by all the food, giant TV by all the food booths. So everyone's crowded outside, inside.
So cool.
The World Tour is nuts or the beach majors, because they like have a full science to how they get the crowd involved, and they have dances that Europeans are a little more crazy than Americans.
Yeah.
Like Americans like to sit there and clap and like really like break down the game, and Europeans are just there to like party.
Just get
Yeah.
bonkers.
Yeah, exactly. So they're like everyone in the stands doing like choreographed dances.
Yeah.
And, like, it's pretty
The
cool.
monster block. That's the most.
Monster block.
Yeah. My
They were
boyfriend
doing
plays
the-
like for USA for indoor.
Okay.
And so I went to Chicago to watch them play, and like there was like maybe a third, not even a third, like an eighth of the stadium was Americans, and the rest was like Poland and like Brazil, like all the other countries, and it was like in the U.S. and we made up so small portion of the people there. It was crazy.
I know, we definitely lack the American fans are a little tamed.
Together. Mark tries so hard on stadium court to get everybody.
Mark's
He's like
not
trying to
doing
teach
indoors,
everyone.
right? And so they're bringing that.
Yeah.
Like they never had the monster block stuff indoors until the Olympics.
Yeah.
And now they're having Mark and like a group of people come and train announcers to conduct the crowd indoors too.
Yeah.
Which is pretty
It's
cool.
awesome. Well, now like Anders, I don't know if you watched any of Vienna after you got hurt.
The fans are obsessed with them.
Yeah, they like it's a home court every time.
The friggin'
They were doing like the
golden
Viking clap for him every
Oh,
time.
right,
It was
yeah.
awesome. Then Anders
Totally.
is just backflipping after wins.
Dude,
They're awesome.
That's so cool.
I don't like them.
They're awesome.
We walked out. We walked out of the players' area, the warm up, to go to the stadium, and Anders and them had finished on the side courts. So like right at the exit, there's just fans everywhere, like piled in, and we're like trying to walk out. And like, oh wow, okay, fans are all over the place.
Yeah.
And we just like kind of walk through them, and Anders and Christian are there. They're like taking pictures. Like, excuse me. Can we get through here? Sorry.
Yeah.
And they're just like, watch out.
Can you take this picture for me?
22-year-olds, damn it.
Yeah.
But they are that good. Yeah.
Are there any players that you guys watch right now that you guys want to emulate at all?
Yeah, I watch a lot of Alex Kleinman. You know, she's obviously very great. And then Kerri has been someone who I've watched for a while. So I think now, especially training with her has been super, super cool.
Yeah.
Just kind of watching what she does and trying to emulate that, especially when she blocks. It's just like, it's amazing for me to watch. So, yeah.
I watch a lot of Duda because I
Nice.
played against her all of like youth USA stuff, and she was always the best. And so now just to watch her on the world tour and just see like, I don't know, her defense is just so simple and she's just so good. So I don't know, I watch her the most.
She can take over a match like probably like unlike anyone I've ever seen. She just starts optioning from everywhere.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Her just like volley smarts are crazy. Like she's played so much. I just remember playing her at U19s and she was 16, and she was already done with school. She's like, oh no, I just do volleyball all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh great, I'm in high school.
That's the Norwegians.
Yeah.
They went to a volleyball high school.
Yeah.
Like that was the purpose of the school.
Yeah.
They had to get their classes done, but it was like fully training.
Wow.
It's like I didn't even play until I was like 20, till I graduated college, so like 22.
Yeah.
I played like, dipped my
Yeah.
toes in the
You-
sand. And
you
they're
had the
like,
Outrigger
they're
Academy.
Like 14 years old.
Yeah.
Well, that's true, but yeah.
It definitely like shows though, just like on like the world tour, like the American, like we
Yeah.
don't have it at such a
don't have
young
the
age.
young,
It's
yeah.
not as like developed.
Right.
Yeah, and you can see from the fans, like you said in Chicago,
Yeah.
it was like all European fans.
Oh yeah, there was
and
no
just
Americans. It's
1/8
crazy.
American. Have
Iran
you guys?
too.
Huh?
Oh my
Iran,
gosh.
They have the nutsest fans.
It was Iran was there, and they
Oh, yeah.
were the entire stadium, and it was so loud,
Yeah.
and like they were like had bells and whistles and just this, like constant noise.
Isn't that? It's. I
I
mean,
had
it's
no
really
idea.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
and
here,
they're
I watched them
good.
play in Anaheim against the U.S.
Yeah.
Literally, like down the street from our training facility, and yeah, Iran just blew the American fans
Yeah.
out of the water.
And Poland.
For them.
Poland's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Especially indoors. Their beach fans, for some reason, the last few years haven't been that good.
Really?
It's the Austrians on the beach that
Oh, yeah?
get nuts. Yeah,
Pretty cool.
it's interesting.
They create super fun environments. Like even for snow volleyball, like the Austrians packed it. I was like,
Really?
this is great.
Yeah.
They were going nuts.
crazy.
They're like
That's so
the party
cool.
fans, though. I could tell.
They were
like,
a ton
you
of
look at them,
fun.
like, doesn't matter who scores. like,
Yeah.
you'll hit a ball out and they'll just be like, yeah. Just like pounding beers and dancing.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even watching the game, but
Yeah.
whatever, you make us look
It's
good.
like Dodger
It's fun.
games. They like it's like
Yeah.
a pop fly like right out of the infield, and everybody's like standing up like they're gonna hit a home run. I'm like,
Right.
do you even see where the ball is? Like it's not going out.
Second baseman caught
And you guys both played a bunch of sports growing up, right? I know your family, you're a basketball family.
Yeah.
Right? Both your parents played in college.
Yep.
So were they kind of nudging you towards basketball?
Oh yeah, definitely. Growing up, I played mostly basketball. Hated it. It was too much contact for me. I
Yeah.
also, I think, missed every layup I ever took. So I was like, I'm 6 feet at like 13. Like, there's no reason why I should be missing all these layups. So I quit that. But I also did swimming for a while. Figure skating was a big one for me.
God.
Yeah, loved figure skating. Then I got too tall for
That's
that.
crazy.
It was a really big deal. I was sad.
That's
But
great
yeah.
for your like
I
balance.
was gonna say it probably helped
Oh,
you
yeah.
a ton with athleticism. in
Yeah,
general.
probably. But wish I could have still done it. Not now, but maybe a little longer. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it about volleyball that you loved?
You know, I think just the team aspect of it. You know, I started playing indoor, and it was really cool to like make a good play and have 5 other people like pumped for you. So I think that was kind of the big thing. And then also, I just really like hitting and blocking. I think just it's one
Yeah.
of the funnest things. I think like there's something different about getting a point with a kill or a block as opposed to like making a shot or something like that. I think just like exerting so much energy into something and then getting the reward and getting to turn around and scream at her as she like gives me a little clap is really cool. So yeah.
I love the animation from you guys. Like even just sitting in the podcast, you're just like always laughing. Facial expressions are great.
Yeah. We get along.
It's,
Yeah.
it's so important to have a partner that you enjoy hanging out
Yeah.
with as
For
well.
sure.
And it
Yeah.
has to be a good partner on
Yeah.
the court. But like I see so many people who are kind of miserable and don't want to like hang out off the court, and you can't really avoid that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So it's definitely
Yeah.
helpful.
I think that
You
we've
guys
had
have-
like a lot of open conversations about it, and like we both just like respect each other as athletes, and like good or bad days, like we know it happens. So like I think that, but like we respect that like we both have the talent and that we both work hard, and I think that because we have that mutual understanding, it like just allows us to be so much more honest and like have so much more fun than
Right.
like
Yeah.
when you're like, okay, was she gonna dump me? Is she gonna like
Right.
if I don't do well? And since like we have this like good relationship, it makes it so much better. And just,
Yeah.
like, we have a lot more fun that way.
Have you guys had to like adopt different roles because you played with Abby Van Winkle, who was a freshman? Right, so I don't know if you were more of a leader on that one, but since like you guys are both super experienced, that neither of you really need to like be like the de facto leader or whatever.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but I would definitely say that like she leads our team in terms of like I think
Good to know.
yeah. Well, okay. I think
Pressure's on now.
Yeah, seriously. No, she's really smart. Like her beach IQ is unreal, and for me, I think I learned so much from her every day, and has no qualms with being like, you should do this or like, why'd you do that? And that's so helpful for me. And I think we talked about it of like, if you see something, tell me, and I'm not going to be butthurt, you're not going to be butthurt, which I think is rare in the women's sports, just to be able to take criticism and feedback, which I think we do really well. But yeah, she's just super smart, and I trust her a ton, and I think that, I mean, you watch me a lot, and so she has learned, like, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, and she's able to, like, help me and tell me things, and so I would say that she's a leader in that regard. And I think my role is probably more of, like, the enthusiasm and, like, the cheering and, like, the encouragement, because she's more quiet than I am, and I'm kind of a goofball, and I'm all over the place, but, yeah, I think I'm kind of more of the motivation and the excitement, and she's just really smart and, like, keeps me going.
Perfect.
It's fun being the team morale guy.
Yeah,
You need
exactly.
it, too.
We need it. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, she's always like, you literally just like bounce it. Can you like get a little excited? I'm like, I'm excited. I'm great.
Yeah. On the
This is
other
my
side.
happy face.
Right, yeah.
Just want to get another one.
Yeah. What's so funny, because, like, she's so, like, giggly and silly and, like, fun and exciting, like, off the court, and so I was kind of expecting that when we started playing. So, like, I think our first couple of games I, like, do something cool, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna be so pumped, and you're like, here's a little high five. So sorry.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, we are getting better. Yeah.
That's funny. But you seem surprised that when Crissy said that you were
Yeah.
kind of the leader.
I guess I just think like emotional or like vocal leader, because I'm not like a vocal leader, I wouldn't say. But yeah, I definitely think that, I don't know, I don't feel like the leader, but I
No.
just like say how I feel all the
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
I guess
is great.
I'm the captain, so I guess I'm a
Yeah.
leader.
Yeah. She crushes rock, paper, scissors.
I
so
don't
that's
argue
great.
ref calls. She argues ref calls.
True.
It's
Yeah.
interesting. I feel like every beach team, you like have to take a certain role, but like both players need to lead it sometimes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Because if one guy's doing it the whole time, or girl, it's draining. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
pressure's always on you. And if you're in the tank for a little bit, and the other player sees that, and they can kind of step up and like, I got you.
Yeah.
You side out right now. I'll worry about everything else.
Yeah.
That
Totally.
really helps you get through those kind of lows.
Yeah, and I think we're both capable of stepping up, which is really cool. Like, I trust her a ton, and I think she trusts me a ton as well in terms of, like, skill-wise or, like, siding out or things like that. But I think another thing that she's really good at is, like, play calling or things like that. Like, she'll be like, okay, let's do this out of the timeout, or let's do this in the situation. I think that's something that she does super, super well.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's really good at giving compliments.
Clearly.
That helps.
Yeah.
It's a good skill to have.
Thanks.
necessary.
Yeah. Just hype up my partner. You'll never feel
Someone
terrible
needs a hype
volleyball. Yeah, totally.
Well, have you guys looked at, so we have Manhattan coming up. Are you doing Chicago and Hawaii, or is that kind of TBD?
Yeah, TBD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'd like to, but it just kind of depends points wise. I think if we have a really good finish in Manhattan, then I think if we have enough points to be in the main draw, we for sure want to do Chicago. But we're still kind of unsure. We'd like to in general, but I know that there's like they're capping it because of something high waters or something.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you were there, because the VNL was in Chicago, I think the same weekend that the AVP Next was there.
They think you guys were there the weekend after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when we went to play, we went up, so you know, you've been to Chicago, right? So you know how the lake, like, kind of comes up and then there's the wall? It was just straight up over the wall. Like, there, you couldn't see
Wow.
it. So it was
Yeah.
just like the courts were like a swimming pool, so we had to like move them way back. So
Right.
there's just not as much court space. I
Right.
think they're capping it at 32.
32, yeah.
Seems like that problem every year. Like
Yeah.
we've had.
Well, this was like
we've had the players'
pretty bad.
tent, like the waves are hitting the players, and like water's coming under
Yeah.
and everything. Like the whole tournament was like about to slide into the
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
multiple times. They
Yeah.
had like tractors going in the
Like
water,
tilling
trying to
it.
like block
Yeah.
it, like build up
Oh
little
my God.
mounds.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chicago's interesting. The
Yeah.
weather's you never know.
It
Unpredictable.
was
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
So on our last match on Saturday in Chicago, it was the heat index was 110 the entire day, and then it dropped to like 70 in 2 minutes. And this
Wow.
just cool breeze came in, and we're like, we're gonna have to get out of here pretty soon, because then it was like 25-mile-an-hour winds kicked up, and we could see the storm coming in.
Ugh.
And
Wow.
so it was basically like whoever was on the bad side just like lost like 6-1,
Yeah.
7-0
Yeah.
every time.
Oh, I bet.
And then it just
25
like
miles, wow.
storm came in, and then the girls' tournament was only supposed to be one day, but it just like wiped out all the courts. So then people were like rescheduling flights, and there's a couple forfeits the next morning because
Wow.
they couldn't finish it
Right.
on Saturday.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
Chicago's always wild.
Yeah. Unpredictable.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I think we'd like to, but yeah.
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 Well, congrats on your third in
Thanks.
Hermosa,
Yeah.
and congrats on making it out of the qualifier in Manhattan already.
Yeah, really.
Huge. Yeah.
Love those AVP
Playing
next.
with house money now.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure be big
So-
to get to Chicago.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a fun sight when it's not underwater too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have one question that we ask our guests at the end of every episode, and that is, if you had to give one piece of advice to an up-and-coming beach volleyball player, what would that piece of advice be?
You can start.
For me, I think I would say just seizing every opportunity and learning something from each one, and also just being grateful, because I think for me what I've learned is that when I take the time to count my blessings and think about all the things and cool opportunities that I've had, whether it's win or loss, like that motivates me to work harder and just to continue to push even when things are hard. Like in the qualifier, it was tough. You know, we went to Seattle and we lost, and like all I could think about was like, this was still so cool, and like we learned so much, and I think we learned a lot about ourselves, and that, you know, in all situations, like if we give it our all, like good things happen, and even if it doesn't go well, like we can still learn something and move forward. And I think with a sport like beach volleyball, when there are, you know, the highs are high and the lows are low, like you kind of just got to keep going and count your blessings and keep pushing. So
Love that.
Okay, I have two. One is just like learning from all the obstacles, because I think it's inevitable. Like obstacles on the beach are just, it's not like professional sports like you see on TV. There's a lot more obstacles that you face, and then just trying to do your best to learn from them and not let that just like really bum you out. And then with that is just like having fun, because like we're playing at the beach. Like life could be so much worse. Like enjoy it. Like have fun with your partner. Like dance a little. Like just like enjoy it, because it's a really cool sport, and there's so many people that would like just kill to be in that position.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I
Two good
agree.
messages.
Yeah, love it.
awesome.
Thanks for coming on, ladies.
Yeah, thank you guys for
having
having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Rest up the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try. Good to have you back.
Thank you. Back
Heal
at it.
soon.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry about the ugly arm setup here.
Shoots.
All right, shoot.